Hi, I'm Debbie.
And I'm Jan.
And this is The Villages 365.
And we're doing Your Questions Answered, number 7, the marathon. Since we were gone and apart from each other for a few months. We're behind.
Trying to catch up.
Yep.
So, the first question from Did You Know in July is from Susie Stoffer. Such a pretty drive. How do we find it when we are there? She was referring to the Tunnel of Trees. So that is slightly north of 466. So you would want to get yourself to Laurel Manor Rec Center is probably the easiest way to do it.
Yep.
And then you would...
Is it from Saddlebrook?
You could do Saddlebrook. Yep. So depending on which direction you're
Yeah.
going. So if you want to go north, get to Laurel Manor, and then just follow the cart path. It will take you underneath 466, and you will pop out in the Tunnel of Trees. And the other way, as Jan said, would be to go to the Saddlebrook golf course. It's a 9-hole, and you could go in through that parking lot, and then that's how you would go south. So anyway, it is beautiful, and it's really cool too.
And it's pretty both ways.
It is kind of the same view. And actually, it was really cool. One time I was going to tennis kind of early in the morning, and it was, I think, around Thanksgiving time, and this family was so cute. They were all in their pajamas, and you could tell it was like grandma, grandpa, younger, kids and grandkids and all that. And so they were doing their Christmas pictures. So they had their Christmas jammies on. And so then as the cart would go, then they'd get out of the way, and then you'd see them run back, and then they were taking... So I was like, not that I'm encouraging everybody to jam up the Tunnel of Trees, but yeah, they did it early in the morning. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, daily 8399. One round of golf is $105 for 2. And that's the winter rates. And they're kind of rated different. Like I think Orange Blossom the wind is blowing in case you can't tell. Orange Blossom is the cheapest, and then I think Southern Oak, is that one of the more expensive ones?
Southern Oak is the most expensive. Southern Oaks is the most expensive.
And they've put in some new, like Lopez and Tierra. So they've kind of rated them differently. Hacienda is one of the cheaper courses. But yeah, that's in the wintertime, and that's
if you're an enhanced member.
Yeah. So
it's probably about probably about $20. It's got to be at least $10 to $20 more per person. So.
Yeah, I was looking at the chart, but there were so many numbers. I got my head hurt. Yeah. But anyway, you can look that up too on Golf the Villages, the rates, and and we've had guests come here, and even with our enhanced membership, which they get a discount, they're like, that's expensive. And it is more expensive than it was in Bella Vista when we lived there, but the courses are a lot nicer. I'm just going to say, sorry, Bella Vista, but yes, it's true.
Our next question was from the video Tour Brownwood With Us. Rand Mactison 9421 asked if we've eaten at the Island Poke and did I like it. And I will say, as I answered you when you wrote this question, I haven't, and I want to, and I still haven't made it down there.
And then when somebody asked about gluten-free, that is one restaurant that has...
Oh, the vegan.
The vegan. The vegan, that is one restaurant that you if you're a vegan, you'll have a few choices. And we have talked about going down there, and we'll do that. Yeah, sometime.
Need to.
Laura Lampy. Hi, Laura. What do you think will happen to the Barnstorm Theater building? I think there was in the paper or the Villages News that right as now the Villages has no
plans to
open it. We've had come up with some ideas of what they could do with it, but it's adorable, and I know the people down there are a little upset that it's not open. But again, in their defense, Hollywood isn't putting out a lot with streaming and people.
And their strikes.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But I think people during COVID decided that it's fun to stay home and eat your own popcorn and just stream something in your jammies. I mean, it's unfortunate because there's some movies that you should watch on a big screen. But
so what would your guess be if you were going to take a guess? Take a guess.
Will they ever open it again?
What do you think they'll turn it into, or do you think they will reopen it?
I think I mentioned that they could do a theater plays and stuff like Tierra does, or have some concerts like they do at Savannah, another concert center. And that would be nice for down there. I mean, because we have that stuff up here. So any of those choices I think would be good. But,
you know, it'd be cool is if they open a new Katie Bell's like that. Another restaurant that is a dinner club for villagers only. I think that would have been cool. Because at one time, not right before they closed it, but at one point, Katie Bell's was only, you had to show your village ID to get in. And so kind of a cool little, not that we have to all only be on, you know, exclusive and all that stuff, but it was kind of a neat little thing that you could just,
and it was a beautiful building. It's apartments now, or going to be. But anyway.
Common Sense Network asked, if I was to do an Airbnb for a few nights, where would you recommend wife and I to stay? I think if this was just a one-time trip and if I was just coming for a few nights, I would stay near the Brownwood area. That kind of puts you in the middle of the villages. And so I think then you have a reach to the south and you have a reach to the north if you want to kind of drive around and look. For me, square-wise, my favorite square is Lake Sumter, but I think if you were trying to be centralized in the villages, somewhere between Lake Sumter and Brownwood is right at this point, the middle of the villages. And so I think if I didn't know what I wanted to do, I would probably plop myself in the middle, and then you have ways to reach out and...
Right. I said between the sixes, but you're right, because it's so far down there now. I would say anywhere around 466 or south of 466.
A?
Then sorry. And then you could still get to Spanish, and you're going to want to experience each square because they're all different. And which is kind of the cool thing about the villages. They all have a different flavor.
Yeah. And Eastport's going to be a whole different thing. And right now, a lot of people are very interested in what's happening in Eastport and what it's going to be like. And it's going to be interesting because they are building, it's going to be another square. And they've got this big pond that they've built. So I picture it to be like Sumter Landing a little bit. I don't know. They didn't, they didn't bring me in while they were doing their plans. But it's going to be interesting. But they're also, it seems like, building a lot more homes like right near the square. So I don't know. It's going to be, and a lot of recreation, it sounds like. So I think people are really curious to see how this is all going to lay out once they've got it laid out.
Right. And we went to the airport last week, and you look that way when you're going down to Orlando, and it's sand. I mean, they're plowing, and for a long time, you're driving on the turnpike for a long time looking at the construction.
And saying, wow, that's still the villages there. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow.
We're afraid to get off there like we used to because we've gotten lost before. And you would hope that, like maps would be up on every time they open up a new street, but you don't know how quick is that, you know? We're not going to experience it when we're in a hurry.
So off your questions answered August. Oh, you're not on the next, it's on the next page.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. J7621 asked, are you able to buy a new home if you are under 55, or what options are available if we want to move to the villages but are just under 55?
And I have that age doesn't really matter. You just can't be under 19.
Well, yes and no. So
they have to have so many.
80% of the residents have to be over 55. So I was just recently talking to a realtor from the villages, and he said that they do ask on new construction that one of the homeowners is over 55, even if the other is not. However, they can inquire into an exception. And so I guess what they do is they run their percentages and figure out where they are at that moment. And if they can, they maybe will accommodate you. So
did they make the phone call when you bought? Because they made the phone call when we bought.
You know what? My dad did all the paperwork for me. I was in Illinois at the time, and so my dad managed all the paperwork, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
I do know, because I was just looking through my paperwork the other day, I had to sign something for them that said that this was an investment property only, and I had no intentions of living here.
Oh, yeah, because they made a phone call, because I was 49, Mark was 51 when we bought our first house, and there was a phone call made. It's like
they said they still do that.
So and then they're obviously still, and I'm sure it's tax purpose or some kind of.
It's so that we can be called a retirement community. And if with that in Florida anyway, unlike some other states like Illinois, dummies, we get a tax break on the school stuff. So because we're not, but if you lose your designation, from what I understand, if you lose your designation, then we would be paying into the local school systems. I think we do contribute a little bit, but I think we get a break. Right. And so that was how it was explained to me.
Well, good. So nice to know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Frank Keel. How bad are the mosquitoes? Are there areas with less population? Does living closer to the turnpike help with the car exhaust? I feel all
that
these
was me.
are...
That was my comment. I feel this is all related to the mosquitoes question.
Okay, good, because I'm going,
Yeah, I think he was asking those 3 questions.
Right.
The way I read it was that you were asking about the mosquitoes in general.
Right. In the villages, I mean, where we are, it's older, they do spray, and most people have a bird cage, so we don't sit outside of this that often. But if you go up to the square, you're standing maybe next to some bushes that there's a little trickling water, you can get bit. And they're sneaky little guys. Like in Minnesota, they land on your arm like an airplane and you can feel them. But these are tiny little guys, but they're more around the swampy areas. Like down south is more swampy.
We were at Funny. We went with some friends to listen to, they have a little outdoor area where they just have like a guy with a guitar and stuff like that, and picnic tables, and you can bring your own chairs. Anyway, we went there and you sit in the grass, and I came out with, I swear, 40 mosquito bites. It was terrible. So
well, and it's very swampy though. Yeah, it's pretty, but there's where there's water, it's like Minnesota. Yeah, where there's water, there's mosquitoes.
And I don't know if the car exhaust makes a difference or not. I don't know. Do you?
I have not heard that. But if we all drive electric cars, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, so. Okay.
Sean Murphy, what type of...
That was,
sorry. Okay, I'm going to have to say it on this one, too. I had a concussion, so I'm a little... And I traveled yesterday, which is very bad. Rosaria Rue, what do you suggest we go see and do while staying at the villages? We don't golf. Well, there's a lot to do if you don't golf. I mean, there's pickleball, there's tennis, there's rec centers, there's games and equipment to use. You go to the squares, you listen to the entertainment. A lot of the restaurants have entertainment also. Gosh, I mean, and
you can go to the shows.
We would come down here because we rented our house out, so we would come and work on it. We just got in the cart and just went. I mean, because we just thought it was such a hoot to drive around on a golf cart. And I would suggest that, and that's hours of entertainment, except your rear end does get a little tired.
When you can go to the Sharon, you can go to the, Tierra has a little
play or
shows,
theater, and they're really good, and that's a very nice little venue. It really is. And what we've seen there has been very entertaining.
Yeah, there's so much to see and do that you won't run out of things, and
you will not be bored.
No. Yeah. FTF 57D says, is it easy to avoid toll roads? Sure. Actually, if you're just in the villages anyway, you're not going to be in the tolls, but if you happen to go like to Orlando, you can avoid the tolls, but you're going to go down like 27 at 35 miles an hour. So you can do it, but I will take a hard pass. I'd rather pay and get there.
Right, and if you, I mean, the turnpike is a turnpike. I mean, you're gonna, and right now it's a nightmare because they're trying to make it 3-lane, and so the construction is, you're like this and like this, and when we came home yesterday, it was a nightmare. But one time there was a wreck, and Siri told us to get off, and we took some back roads or whatever, and it was actually kind of fun because we saw some areas that we'd never seen before. And if you're not in a hurry, you can definitely avoid the tolls. And the guy that used to drive us to the airport, because that took money out of his pocket of what he charged us, he went ways I'd never seen before, and we still got there.
And then this last one I thought was hilarious. This was from Mary Wilson. This was not a question, but I love this. What do you get when you put an alligator in a blender? Gatorade. And
did you hear about the alligator who became president? He was a great delegator.
Yay, Mary. Cute. We love those.
Yeah,
that was adorable.
That was cute.
Anyway, so that wraps up number 7 of the marathon, which I think actually may be the end. We are coming to the end of the questions. So this might be the last one. I got to double check and see if we've got more, but I think this may be the last your questions answered marathon edition.
Right. That's what we get for being gone for so long this summer. So.
Yeah, we were in and out traveling. It's what villagers do. This is the Villagers
right.
365. This is what we do.
Sometimes we go outside the bubble.
Yes.
And it's scary at first, but we survive. Yeah.
So anyway, but thanks for always watching.
Like and subscribe.
Have a great day.